Dakota.
I live in Charlottesville, Virginia.
I live in Michigan.
I live in Indiana.
I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
I live in Washington State.
I live in Boston, Massachusetts.
I am from Reno, Nevada.
And I'm from Keene, New Hampshire.
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
And I live in Louisiana State.
Having all these kids here together with me at Children's Congress is absolutely amazing.
I'm here to talk to our members of Congress about living with juvenile diabetes, and I'm really excited about it because I think our members of Congress need to help us with juvenile diabetes because it can be tough.
A lot of people think diabetes isn't really a big thing, but it is, and it affects your life a lot.
Going to talk to senators and ask them for more money.
This Children's Congress attracted the most national attention ever paid to type 1 diabetes.
On Capitol Hill, a group of young people with diabetes are lobbying for increased research funding. And
kids from around the country are heading to Washington, D.C.
He's urged lawmakers on Capitol Hill to do more to fight diabetes.
Children from all 50 states are speaking out to lawmakers. This Children's Congress, child delegates from...
Diabetes kills 1 American every 3 minutes. And today, the famous and those struggling with the disease tug Capitol Hill's heartstrings. They want money to find a cure.
I'm Senator Joe Lieberman of Connecticut. It's my honor to be the chairman of this committee this year. I want to welcome our witnesses to this hearing as part of this 5th Children's Congress organized by the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation to recognize and really honor Senator Collins' superb and important leadership on this important public health challenge. I'm going to turn the gavel over to her. Senator Collins.
Thank you very much, Senator Lieberman. What really motivates me to devote so much energy to this issue was meeting more and more people like our delegates today and their families whose lives have been changed forever by diabetes. You put human faces on all of those statistics. You can teach us what Congress can do to help us better understand and ultimately conquer this terrible disease.
Thank you for inviting me and the other kids on this panel to speak to you today. It is exciting and a little scary to be part of a congressional hearing, but I know that it is important for Congress to hear from kids who are living with type 1 diabetes every day, and I'm thankful for this opportunity. I was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes when I was 9. Unlike most children with diabetes, I wasn't diagnosed by a doctor. I was diagnosed by my mom and dad. This is because diabetes is not a rarity in my family. My older sister, Caitlin, now 22, was diagnosed with diabetes when she was 3. When we were small, my sister and I shared a bedroom. At night, we would talk about things like Disney princesses, Barbie dolls, and what we wanted to be when we grew up. As we grew older, the topics ranged from boys and makeup to clothes and nail polish. However, after diabetes shattered our family for a second time, our late-night talks became an opportunity for us to voice our fears to one another about the burden of managing diabetes every day and the threat of complications that we both face in the future. No matter how many times a day I check my blood sugar, change my pump site, exercise, or closely count carbohydrates, I still face the impending risks of blindness, heart disease, kidney disease, and nerve damage. Please help me, my sister, and the 3 million other Americans with juvenile diabetes be able to say, I used to have diabetes.
I am a skier on the middle school team in Yarmouth, and in a lot of ways, the way I think about each ski race is how I think about my diabetes. I have been trained to go down the mountain, looking at each gate, attacking the hill, and crossing the finish line. Unlike ski racing, where each race has a beginning and an end, diabetes is always with me. I can never take a break. It's hard, and sometimes I just want to stop and take a break. Stop testing my blood sugar, stop having to take insulin shots, stop counting all the carbs in my food, and stop worrying about what might happen to me all the time. But I know this isn't an option. When I think about my future, I think about being the best skier I can be. I also think about what diabetes is doing to my body, and that unless a cure is found, I might be faced with serious complications. Progress is being made, but there is still more work to do. I will continue to do my part, participating in walks, speaking to friends, or just being a new friend to a new diabetic. But time is not on my side, and we cannot do it without your help.
I am 12 years old. To you, I may look like a regular kid, but I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 7 years old. And I have spent every day since then wanting to be a regular kid, free from diabetes. For me, a cure means be able to be a kid, to play baseball and ride my bike without fearing my blood sugar dropping too low. It means no more pricking my fingers at least 5 times a day. It means no more getting sick at school because my sugar level is gone too high. It means no more scheduling my eating and counting carbs. For me and the kids just like me, it means freedom. Freedom to be just a kid. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. And thank you for listening. I'm just a kid, but I have big dreams. Right now, my biggest dream is to be cured from diabetes.
Raising twin boys with diabetes requires constant management, daily care, and thousands of finger pokes. I remember when we were in the hospital with Abraham, and he would cry and cry when the nurse would come in to give him shots. He would scream, "Make her stop, Mommy, make her stop." My heart was crushed. I was Abe's protector. And now this disease had made me helpless. I realized that soon I would be the one giving him shots that were causing him fear, pain, and anger. I have no choice but to do this. It is a matter of fact that without proper management and care, our children would die. Be our partner. Give Abe and Kurt the hope that a cure will be found in their lifetime. I promised my boys that I will do all I can to get to a cure as soon as possible. I am asking you to make the same promise to them.
I'm hopeful that this morning's hearing, plus all of the visits that you're doing to senators all over the Hill, will help to build on that support and give us the momentum we need for increased research funding to find better treatments, a means of prevention, and yes, ultimately, a cure.
There is nothing that compares to a representative of the House or the Senate sitting with a young person who is dealing with type 1. And when you see that little human face and that human spirit, and they share with you what they experience and their passions, you can't help but be touched by that in a really meaningful, powerful way.
I have been extremely honored and privileged to have been a part of 158 of the most amazing children from all over the country. Certainly, the 6 international delegates were an incredible addition as well. And to meet these children and to have the opportunity to get to know them and to see their commitment and their drive to find a cure is as motivating a 3 days as I could imagine.
I'm really happy to be with you for such a terrific town hall. We're going to be talking about athletics and diabetes, a subject that's very close to my heart because I learned long ago when I was a dancer how exercise and activity in general, whether it's a sport or just a general interest, is so critical for all of us with type 1. So get ready to meet some new friends. They are here today to tell you what it's like to play professional sports and manage their diabetes and do it dazzlingly. They are all with type 1 diabetes themselves, and no mention of sports would be complete without mentioning ESPN and their great team of sportscasters, Brian Kenny and John Saunders.
Dealing with diabetes is difficult, and that you feel like you're alone sometimes. And now I think you can see when everybody here and everybody in the shirts, you're not alone. And I think here you can see proof positive that you can do what you want in life, even with diabetes.
There's one other
form of accomplishment that you can take from this if you want to, and that is that you also can become a sportscaster at ESPN, because I also have type 1 diabetes.
Science and research cost money, and JDRF gratefully acknowledges the governmental and corporate support that is so vital to our cause. We recognize our Unite to Cure Diabetes sponsors. With the help of public and private partnerships, we're moving research into reality.
Well, when I first became involved and they asked me to play guitar, I was really, really impressed by the song. It's a great piece of work.
Look into my eyes and you'll see it's true. Even when you're
Elliot Yamin is out there with us, Tricia Yearwood. They're both so gracious and wonderful to be here.
Tell me why we share this moment. Promise to remember.
To see the faces of these little kids singing along with you, and it just is amazing.
Time takes what we feel, even when it's real. Fades it like a sunset on the sea. I know, but still I'm asking you to promise to remember me.
Over the last 3 decades, JDRF has raised and provided more than $1 billion for juvenile diabetes research. And there's a great partnership between JDRF and NIH in moving this research forward.
The NIDDK looks forward to continuing to work with its collaborators and partners, such as the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International, in order to achieve our common goal of preventing and curing type 1 diabetes. Improving the lives of all people with this disease, including the children here today, continues to be the motivation behind our efforts.
I love playing basketball. The game takes determination, focus, and discipline. In fact, diabetes has just made me more determined to make it to the NBA. And like all the kids in this room, I have to stick my finger to test my blood glucose level anywhere from 10 to 12 times every day. Our diabetes is with us every day of our lives. It never goes away, and we never get a timeout. To the senators in this room, I want to ask you to do everything in your power to help us find a cure by funding the best research that we possibly can have in this country. Have the determination, focus, and discipline for a win here today. Please fund diabetes research. It is life or death for many of us.
As I was preparing to come to Washington for Children's Congress and the hearing, I thought back to the very first Congress in 1999, and I'll be honest with you, it was never my intention to appear before you 8 years later, still talking about the need to push forward aggressively on research toward a cure for type 1 diabetes. The good news is that we are making real progress on the research front, progress resulting from the strong public-private partnership between JDRF and the federal government, progress that is impacting many people with diabetes in a positive way right now. The bad news is that for me and the children in this room, every day living with diabetes is a day closer to the serious complications from this disease. As many of you know, we are a very determined bunch. We don't ask others to do what we haven't already challenged ourselves to do. We are here to remind you of the urgency of your efforts to increase research dollars and to show that we will continue to do our part to remain your partner. I'm here to ask you to look into the eyes of these beautiful kids and show them through your actions that you care about their future.
Promise to remember me.
And I
busy lives in the coming days, you and I will go our separate ways. Tell me while we share this moment, promise to remember